Now in this question, the concept that is involved is of mark price, or labeled price for that matter, or list price. These are the terms involved, but all of them mean the same. Alright, so I want you to remember one small figure, which is this is our mark price over here. Here I have my cost price. Just remember this figure, and most of the questions or the concepts that are involved in profit and loss will be quite clear to you. The problem that is involved in solving profit and loss is that whenever you go through the solved examples, it seems quite easy, but whenever you start solving the questions by yourself, you mess up things by doing wrong calculation, by taking wrong base, and you arrive at an answer which is wrong, but that answer is also provided in the options, so you quite confidently mark the wrong answer. So I want you to remember and spend 5 minutes on this figure and remember this figure for solving the next questions. Now, whenever my cost price is increased to a markup price, this situation is termed as markup. Percentage of CP. So always the percentage increment happens with the base of cost price. Now whenever we are given a discount, the discount is given on the mark price. Alright. So this situation is termed as discount percentage of mark price. So whenever the discount has to be calculated, the base which has to be taken is mark price. And this is what we have discussed previously. Whenever profit or loss is defined as percentage of cost price. So the beginning of the arrow suggests the base that you have to take, and one thing that you should note that even if it's discount, whether it's markup or profit or loss, the sales price is never the base for any situation. So this one thing has to be clear in your mind, that never take sales price as the base of any calculation. The markup percentage and profit and loss, the cost price is taken as the base, and for discount percentage, mark price is taken as the base. So remember this figure, it's quite important for that matter. Spend 2 or 3 minutes more and make an impression in your brain. Alright, now moving on to the question. Here we are given that TR got 30% concession. Now concession is nothing but the discount on the labeled price, which is our markup price which we discussed, and sold it at rupees 8750. So this is our sales price with 25% profit on the price that she bought. Now what is the labeled price? Alright, now we are given the profit percentage, we are also given the sales price. So from this I'm going to get my cost price. Now as we know that the discount is given on the mark price, let us solve. The cost price is equal to 100 by 125 using the formula which we have discussed earlier, 8750. This is equal to 7000. So this is my cost price. Now I know that The discount is 30%. Concession was given. So let the labeled price is equal to X. Now we know that the base that we have to take is the cost price. So I know that 70% of the labeled price is equal to my cost price. So substituting these things in the equation, I'm going to get 70 by 100 multiplied by labeled price is equal to 70,000. So I'm left with the labeled price is equal to 10,000. I hope this is clear. So this is the reason that I'm stressing upon that figure which we drew earlier, because whether to take the least price over here or selling price or cost price, it will be much more clearer whenever you remember that figure. Sometimes we can eliminate the options by using the common sense. Now whenever I'm given that there is a profit happening in the transaction, it is a profitable transaction. So in this situation, my sales price is always going to be greater than cost price. Now whenever a discount is given, I know that my mark price is going to be greater than the selling price or the cost price, because selling price is itself greater than the cost price. So this inequalities sometimes do help to eliminate the options and make the way easier for you. Due to the reduction in 25% in the price of mangoes, a customer can purchase 4 more mangoes for rupees 16. What is the original price of a mango? Now this question involves the concept that we initially discussed and the formula which I gave you in the topic percentage. Whenever the price reduction is there and my expenditure is constant, the quantity which I am going to purchase will increase as the price has reduced. So applying that concept over here, applying the formula for the percentage increase in the consumption, which is 100 upon 100 minus the percentage decrease. This is going to give me the percentage increase in the consumption, which is nothing but 100 upon 100 minus 75. So this turns out to be 4/3. So this is the multiplication factor. 4 by 3 as the multiplication factor. This indicates 1/3 increase, that is 33.33% increase in consumption, which is equal to 4 mangoes. So 1/3 of the X is equal to 4 mangoes. So the initial consumption, that is X, is equal to 12 mangoes. Now I know that this costs rupees 16. So the cost price of the original mangoes is nothing but 16 by 12, that is 1.33 rupees. I hope you remember this concept which we used earlier and discussed it thoroughly in the previous topic of percentage. So if you do not recall it, do go through that video first. In this question, we are given that a retailer sells 2 articles for rupees 1000 each, making the profit of 20% on the first article and a loss of 20% on the second article. Find the net profit or loss that he makes. Now for this particular type of question, I have a shortcut for you which is going to get you the net profit or loss, or the profit percentage or the loss percentage. But let us solve this question traditionally and get how the shortcut is derived and how it works basically. So let us look at the concept that is involved by solving this question traditionally. Now let me divide this question in 2 parts. Initially I am going to calculate for the profit scenario. As we are given that the profit percentage while selling the first article is equal to 20%. I know that at that point of time also my selling price was 1000. So let me calculate the cost price over here. Now as we know that profit percentage is equal to the selling price minus the cost price upon the cost price multiplying this by 100. Now I can write this or substitute the values which we have over here. 20 by 100 is equal to my SP, that is 1000, minus, let's suppose the cost price be X upon X. So this is nothing but 1 by 5. So what I'm going to get is X is equal to 1000 minus 5X, or 6X is equal to 1000, and my X is going to come as 2500. Sorry, this will be 5000. So 6X is equal to 5000 and X is going to be 2500 by 3. Now instead of going through this basic formulas, we can do the calculation even by using the multiplication factor concept which we have used earlier. P% is given to be as 20%. So the multiplication factor is going to be 1 plus 20 by 100. So this is nothing but 1.2. Now in a profitable transaction, cost price multiplied by the multiplication factor is going to give me the selling price. I hope you remember this relation which we have discussed earlier. And even if you do not remember it, write it down right now. For a profitable transaction, cost price multiplied by the multiplication factor is equal to my selling price. In a loss-making transaction, this relation is valid, but the calculation for multiplication factor has a negative sign. So multiplication factor is calculated 1 plus or minus the P% upon 100, P or L% upon 100. So this is my multiplication factor. Positive sign is used for profit, negative sign is used for loss. So now let me use the multiplication factor technique to calculate the cost price for the loss making transaction. Let me clear the board. Now over here we know that my loss percentage is equal to 20. So the multiplication factor which I'm going to get, I'm using the negative sign, 1 minus 20 by 100. So this is nothing but 0.8. So 0.8 multiplied by the cost price is going to give me my selling price. So my cost price is nothing but 1000 divided by 0.8, which is equal to 1250. So this is my cost price in a loss making transaction. This is my cost price for the profit making transaction. Let me now, as the cost price is more, this is the loss making transaction and he makes a loss. All right. Now net loss percent or net profit percent is going to be my selling price for both the transaction is 1000. So 1000 plus 1000 is equal to 2000. So this is my net selling price. My net cost price is going to be 1250 plus 2500 upon 3. And as we can see that this is greater than 2000. So there will be an overall loss occurring in this transaction, which is equal to minus 2000. This is my net selling price. This is equal to 250 by 3. This is my loss. Now to calculate the loss percent, loss upon cost price multiplying by 100. So this is nothing but 250 by 3 upon the net cost price 6250 upon 3, multiplying this by 100 is going to give me 4%. So the answer over here is that the retailer is going to make a loss of 4%, or in terms of value it is 250 by 3. Now let us solve this question by using the shortcut. Alright. Now do remember that this shortcut works when the selling price is same and the retailer is going to make X% profit and loss for selling at the same selling price. Now let's take P% as my profit and loss percent, so which over here is 20%. For the formula which I am going to give, in that formula P% denotes the percentage profit and loss. X is equal to my selling price. So one thing is for sure, in such transaction there is always an loss involved. So this is the first trick. Now second trick is to calculate the loss percentage. Now we know that there is always a loss involved, so there will always be the loss percentage. So this will be 20 square upon 100, that is 400 dividing by 100 is equal to 4%. So solve this sum looks much more easier after knowing this shortcut, as we are getting the results in one step. Now if we are asked the amount of loss that is incurred in this process, so for that the formula is, now the amount of loss is given by the formula twice of p square x upon 100 square minus p square. Substituting the values, I'm going to get 2 multiplied by 20 square, multiplying this by x is our selling price, the common selling price, upon 100 square, that is 10 raised to 4 minus 20 square. So I'm going to get this overall equation after solving this as 9600. This is going to be 800 multiplying by 10 raised to 3, and on solving this is going to get reduced to 250 by 3. This is our original answer which we calculated traditionally. So I hope you got that these are the two formulas which I was talking about, so please make a note of it. And points to keep in mind is the selling price is the same and the X percentage, the percentage is fixed for the loss as well as for the profit, and in this transaction there is always a loss, and for calculation of loss percentage this formula is used, and to calculate the amount of loss this formula is used.